What is going on, guys? Money Webby here, back again with some PGA daily fantasy picks for DraftKings. We got the Arnold Palmer Invitational this week. Great tournament down in Orlando, Florida. It should be a good one. Definitely a stack field in a lot of ways you can attack this field. I think there's a couple ways that I would personally attack it. I would either go with Jason Day at the top and kind of go with some more riskier guys that are cheap values. The good thing with this tournament is that it's a little bit smaller of a field, so a better chance for some risky guys to make the cut there. But if you want to go more balanced throughout, I would try to attack this 9,000 range with some guys that I'll be mentioning in my video, or you could go down to one of these guys and then some, like one less of the 9,000 guys and one more of the 7,000 range or 8,000 range or something like that. So that is how I would attack that. But I would, or what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to give you 4 of my favorite picks of this week based on all the stats I've been looking at, the stuff that's been coming up for the most part over the last few years, why people are winning this tournament. It's stroke gains approach, it seems like, which is always pretty damn consistently up there and for stats to look at. Putting, honestly, is pretty big this week. I've noticed that most of the people that are winning this are solid putters or just good on Bermuda grass in general. And also some more par 5s in the tournament, so you definitely got to be solid on a par 5. It definitely helps to have that good driver distance like Rory McIlroy has, but he's been kind of lost recently. But also the proximity for 200 yards plus is good to have because you got those longer irons on these par 5s and thus the longer holes in general. So those are a couple of the things that I've been looking at. And also course history is also important on this course. You always want to see if a guy is missing the cut every time in the tournament. Obviously, it's going to be a negative and an alarm for him, but I got 4 guys like I mentioned, so drop a like in the video before we get going. I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps out my channel and these videos in general. And subscribe if you are new here. Sorry for not doing any video last week for PGA DFS picks. Had a pretty tough week the week before, and I was moving down to my new house, so I had to drive down to do that and stuff like that. So I had no time in the middle of the week to really do some research where I felt confident enough to give out some plays, but I got some nice research in, crunched some numbers and everything like that, and I narrowed it down to 4 guys that I'm very high on. So let's just get into it. First guy is going to be pretty chalky. Just this, is probably the best golfer of all time. So Tiger Woods, people are saying that he's probably going to be the highest owned guy this week for a good reason. Finished second last week, looked very good, almost back to his old peak Tiger. He, like I said, finished second, 89 DraftKings points, definitely solid there. And the thing with him is that he's been good putting this year, 23rd strokes gained putting, and also the approach has been there, which are 2 of the big things that I was looking at. 19th approach, and obviously the course history, as strong as that could be. 8 wins already here in the Arnold Palmer Invitational. He definitely gets motivated for this tournament, and it's down in Florida, which he normally plays pretty well. He lives in Florida, so definitely accustomed to the tournament here. And also, he just, like I said, he's coming off that second place win. So I think coming off that second place, I think he's just being so close to that win would just like fuel the fire in him and even more to come in this week and win the tournament. Also, this is the first time he's going to be playing since Arnold Palmer passed away. So another extra motivation there. And the odds makers are having him with the highest odds to win this tournament. Definitely a part of this is because everyone just wants to bet on Tiger and see him win because they try to get on him before he's back to that old form, hopefully. But he is number 1 in the odds, so you can't doubt Vegas there for the most part. It's definitely a good price based on the odds if you want to do it out that way. But at 10,000, it really allows you to get some more of those 9,000 guys instead of paying up for Jason Day because it can just more guys that definitely have more of a possibility to win the tournament. Tiger, we know, can definitely win. He looks good enough to win last week and definitely going into this week. So Tiger Woods, you can throw him in your lineups. Another guy you can pivot off after. I'll mention, I guess, at the end if I remember, but you can pivot off to one of these 9,000 guys. Try to mention it at the end there if I remember. But for my second guy, I'm going to go with TYRRELL HATTON here at 9,000. Coming off a very strong performance at the WGC Mexico. T3 there, 107 DraftKings points. A great showing. And at this tournament last year, he got 4th, which is definitely good. And he's from Orlando. Well, not from Orlando, but he has a house in Orlando. So maybe he's a little bit more accustomed to playing in this area, which is good to feel a little more comfortable. Maybe he's sleeping at his own house. You never know. But at 9,000, Solid price, who definitely has the capability of finishing top 5 or even winning this tournament. And he's been putting pretty well this year. I mentioned that the strokes game putting is important. I don't have the exact numbers where he ranks, but I think he would have been ranked in the top 20 in the PGA if you kind of throw that over, because he is in the EuroLeague, so you don't get the PGA stats. But his strokes game putting was pretty good. The approach was all right, nothing to write home about, but he's definitely a solid guy off the tee. Pretty damn accurate, and he can get some strokes gained and get some birdies on the board. 20 plus birdies in 2 of these tournaments in Euros, so he can definitely shoot pretty damn high in these tournaments. The winning number is normally around like minus 10 to minus 14 or around there over the last couple years, looking at the numbers. So TYRRELL Hatton has definitely the capability of winning here. I think he's a solid putter, good driver, good with the iron. So and he's been peaking recently with a top 3 there. Didn't play very well in the Honda Classic, but that was kind of a tough course for him. But at 9,000 here, seems like and also that was his first time on the PGA, on the USA soil. So maybe he's kind of shaking off the cobwebs there. It seems like he's good to go, though. 9,000, solid price, and we'll take him there at 9,000. But for my third guy, another guy similar to Tiger Woods, just an absolute beast at this tournament, HENRIK STENSON here. 9,100. If you look at the course history, which I definitely fall in love with, like all the placings he has here are just absolutely insane. Looking at the most recent one, he missed the cut last year in 2017, but I guess he had like a stomach issue or something like that, so he wasn't 100%. But we'll just skip over that year to 2016. He got a top 3 there, great showing. Then in 2015, he got second. In 2014, he got top 5 as well. Another guy that lives in Orlando, so he definitely feels comfortable here. And he's a great Bermuda grass putter. Kind of a shaky start to this year. Just played last week, got cut in the Valspar Championship. But maybe he was looking forward to this tournament because he just has been playing so well here, and he might have just been practicing up for this tournament, because it's definitely a little bit more of a crowded field and more of that kind of major environment or just feel to the tournament. He says that he's planning to play in every event leading up to the Masters, so this is definitely a great scene or a great spot for him to get in that great form leading up to the major with the Masters. So 9,100, definitely capable of finishing top 5 or even winning this event. He has never won the event. He's definitely smelt the victory, but I think he can definitely pull home a W in this event. Like I said, a tough showing last week. So I think people could maybe be a little bit afraid to go with him here. So we can get him at a lower ownership at a course that he plays very well. So 9,100, solid price. I'll throw him in my lineups there. And for my fourth and final guy, Molinari here, Francesco Molinari at 7,300, a great price. Another guy considering how well he's played here, and kind of the stats kind of back up why he's done so well here. 2017 last year finished T7, 2016 T9, 2015 T17, 2014 T5. So just looking at those last couple years, he's finished top 20 in all of them. So great to see there. And thing that I didn't really mention, but he's been great off the tee the year. Obviously, that helps in any tournament. Third most strokes gained off the tee, and he's been another guy that's a better putter on Bermuda. Not a great putter in general, but much better on the Bermuda, so that can definitely help him here. And he did pretty well putting last year, so that's great to see. So I think he can have another solid showing putting. And he's definitely good with the long irons on the par 5s. He's 8th on approach, greater than 200 yards. So that's kind of factors in those long irons. So that's good to see. Definitely can hit home those long approaches, which we need in the par 5s to gain some birdies. He's definitely capable of getting some birdies here and contending and finishing the top 10 or something like that. So at 7,300, a great value there with a guy that can definitely return some great value. I think he's safe to make the cut. If he doesn't make the cut, based on his past performances here, I'll be very surprised, and pretty damn cheap. So Francesco Molinari, lock him in there. You can put him in your lineups. And that leaves you 7,300. Definitely capable of some other cheap guys. Another guy that I wanted to mention, I was between Molinari and Kevin Kisner was another guy that's a great putter. Like I mentioned, strokes game putting is definitely bigger for me this week than it normally is. And he finished second here last year. It kind of choked the win there. So maybe he'll be a little bit more motivated to come back this year. He's at 7,100. Solid price. Did pretty well at the WGC Mexico, but had a bad last round there. So maybe he can bounce back here in a spot that he did pretty well last year. It's second, you can't complain about that. And like I mentioned, though, with Tiger Woods, the ownership is going to be behind him. So if you don't want to go with Tiger Woods because of that ownership, if you want to go with a lower-owned guy, Alex Noren is a guy that looks like he sets up pretty well here based on the just based on all the stats, like I mentioned, strokes gained, approach, he's great there, a solid putter, he's good in the par fives, so a 9,200, definitely capable of going him, and if you save a lot of money, you can pay it for another guy, it gets you up to 7,700 remaining per player, if you want to do that. So definitely a couple of different ways you can do, but those are the 4 guys that I feel confident about. I think all of those guys can definitely contend for winning this week, so Tiger Woods, TYRRELL HATTON, HENRIK STENSON, and FRANCESCO MOLINARI. All great plays. All of them look great here. So drop a like in the video if you enjoyed it. And subscribe if you haven't already to get these PGA DFS picks every single week. I think I'm going to do like 4 golfers per week here because we got 6. I was filling out the full lineup the last 2 weeks when I did it, but didn't feel as confident. I feel like the guys that I was less confident, I was just kind of shoving them in to fill out the lineup. Ended up kind of biting me in the ass there. So these are the guys that I feel great about. I think all of them will return great value on this slate here. So wish you guys the best of luck here. You can definitely check out my NBA DraftKings picks every single day as well. I give out 6 plays that I feel very confident in, everything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you back here again next week.